What is money? We use it every single day, yet we rarely stop to question its fundamental nature. We trust it. We work for it, save it, and plan our entire lives around it. But what if that trust is misplaced? What if the very foundation of our financial world is built on a system that is quietly but persistently failing us? This is not a distant academic problem. It is the silent crisis of our time. The money in your bank account, the purchasing power of your salary, the value of your lifelong savings are all subject to forces beyond your control. They are managed by institutions that prioritize their survival over the stability of your wealth, often through policies that devalue the currency you hold. Inflation, quantitative easing, bank bailouts. These are symptoms of the broken system. They are direct interventions that erode the value of your money. The dollar, the euro, the yen you earned last year buys less today, and it will buy even less tomorrow. This is not an accident. It is a feature of modern monetary policy. Central banks have the authority to create money out of thin air, a power they use to manage economies and rescue failing institutions. But this power comes at a great cost. Each new unit of currency printed dilutes the value of all existing units, functioning as a hidden tax on every saver. It is a slow, insidious transfer of wealth from the individual to the state. This system forces us into a corner. To protect our wealth, we are told we must become investors, constantly seeking returns that can outpace the relentless pace of currency debasement. Take on risk. Navigate complex financial markets. Trust our capital to the very same third parties that benefit from the system's inherent flaws. The simple act of saving money in a bank account has become a losing game. We have been led to believe that this is normal, that this is the only way. But this dependency on trusted intermediaries, banks, governments, creates a single point of failure. It concentrates power, invites manipulation, leaves the average person vulnerable to decisions made in closed boardrooms. The financial crisis of 2008 was a brutal wake-up call, a moment when the fragility of this entire structure was laid bare for the world to see. It was a crisis born from excessive risk-taking, opaque financial instruments, profits privatized, losses socialized. When the house of cards began to fall, it was not the architects who paid the price. Savings decimated, homes foreclosed, trust shattered, while the institutions deemed too big to fail were rescued with taxpayer money, money created from nothing. This event was not just a failure of markets, it was a profound failure of trust and a clear demonstration that the promise of modern money had been broken. Out of the ashes of this global financial crisis, a quiet revolution began. On October 31, 2008, a white paper was published. The title was simple: Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. It was posted to a small cryptography mailing list by a person or group using the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto. It was a proposal for something radically new. It was not just another payment app. It was a complete re-engineering of money from first principles. It was designed to operate without the very institutions that had just failed the world so spectacularly. Bitcoin was conceived as money that could not be manipulated, could not be censored, or debased by any central authority. At its core, Bitcoin is money built on a foundation of mathematics and code, not on the promises of politicians or bankers. It is a system governed by rules, not by rulers. So what is Bitcoin really? In a single sentence, Bitcoin is a decentralized digital form of money secured by cryptography, allowing anyone to send and receive value directly with anyone else, anywhere in the world, without needing a bank or any other intermediary. It serves multiple roles simultaneously. It is a digital ledger, an unchangeable record of every transaction, the blockchain. It is a fixed monetary system, with a supply that is absolutely scarce and capped at 21 million coins. It is a peer-to-peer settlement network, and it is a new form of property native to the internet itself. The timing of Bitcoin's creation was no coincidence. Satoshi launched the network in January 2009, and the very first block of transactions, the Genesis block, contained a hidden message. Embedded in the code was a headline from that day's newspaper. The Times, 03 Jan 2009, Chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks. This was more than just a timestamp. It was a declaration of purpose. It was a quiet protest encoded into the foundation of a new financial system, forever linking Bitcoin's existence to the failures of the old one. It was a clear statement that Bitcoin was created to be an alternative, an escape valve from a system that privatizes gains and socializes losses. This single, elegant act set the tone for everything that followed. Bitcoin was designed to solve the problems laid bare by the 2008 crisis. It addresses bank bailouts by removing the need for banks to hold your money. It solves currency debasement with its fixed, predictable supply. It eliminates the need for trusted third parties by using a distributed network of computers to verify transactions. It resists monetary manipulation because its issuance schedule is locked in code and cannot be changed by a committee. And it provides an answer to financial censorship, giving individuals true ownership and control over their own wealth. It is a system built not on trust in people, but on the verifiable truth of mathematics. To understand how Bitcoin works, we must first start with the concept of ownership. Bitcoin solves this with an elegant system of cryptography using a pair of keys, a public key and a private key. Think of your public key as your bank account number. You can share it freely with anyone who wants to send you Bitcoin. Your private key, however, is the complete opposite. It is a secret password that you must guard with your life. It is the key that unlocks the funds associated with your public key and gives you the authority to spend them. Anyone who gains access to your private key has complete control over your Bitcoin. This is the foundation of self-custody and financial sovereignty in the Bitcoin world. So, how do these keys work together to create a transaction without revealing your secret? When you decide to send Bitcoin, you use your private key to create a digital signature. This signature is a unique piece of cryptographic proof that is attached to the transaction details, like the amount and the recipient's address. It mathematically proves two things to the rest of the network. First, that the transaction was authorized by the owner of the funds. And second, that the transaction details have not been altered since it was signed. It's like signing a check, but with a magical ink that makes the signature valid for only that specific check and amount. This process allows you to prove ownership and authorize a payment without ever exposing your private key to anyone. It is computationally impossible for them to reverse engineer the signature to figure out your private key. The next step is to announce your intention to the entire world. Your Bitcoin wallet broadcasts this signed transaction message to the Bitcoin network. These initial nodes that receive your transaction immediately perform a quick check. If it passes, they forward it to all other nodes they are connected to. Your transaction now sits in the mempool, a pool of unconfirmed but valid transactions waiting to be processed. They are prioritized by the transaction fee. When you create a transaction, you include a small Bitcoin fee for miners. Broadcasting ensures there's no central point of control or censorship. This is where miners come in, who perform the crucial role of bundling these verified transactions into a block. To earn the right to add their block to the blockchain, miners must compete to solve a complex mathematical puzzle. This process is called proof of work. The first miner to find a valid solution to this puzzle earns the right to broadcast their completed block to the rest of the network. As a reward for their effort, they are rewarded with a certain amount of newly created Bitcoin. This is called the block subsidy. The block is now officially part of the permanent, shared history of Bitcoin. The transactions within it are considered to have one confirmation. The genius of the blockchain is how each new block is cryptographically linked to the one that came before it. Each block contains a fingerprint or hash of the previous block's data. If an attacker wanted to change a transaction, changing that block would change its hash, which would break the link to the next block in the chain. So they would also have to remine the next block, and so on. As more blocks are added, the transaction becomes more and more secure. After about 6 confirmations, a transaction is considered to be irreversibly settled, buried under thousands of tons of digital rock, secured by an immense wall of computational energy. This process is the engine that powers a new, sovereign financial system, open to all. Perhaps the most profound innovation is its monetary policy. At the center, 21 million. There will only ever be a maximum of 21 million. This stands in stark contrast to modern fiat currencies, which can be created in unlimited quantities by central banks. New bitcoins are created as rewards for miners. The block subsidy is programmed to decrease over time, the halving. Approximately every 4 years, the reward for mining a new block is cut in half. The halving cycle is the engine of Bitcoin's economic model. It creates a predictable, disinflationary system, making Bitcoin increasingly scarce. This gives Bitcoin a monetary policy that is perfectly predictable. It removes human error, removes bias, removes temptation. To truly grasp Bitcoin's significance, compare it directly to gold and fiat currency. Bitcoin was designed to improve these properties for the digital age. Portability, moving lots of gold, is slow. Bitcoin lets you move billions with the ease of an email. Divisibility. Bitcoin divides down to 100 millionth of a coin. Confiscation. Gold can be seized from a vault. Bitcoin in self-custody is extremely difficult to confiscate. It is, well, gold upgraded for a world of bits and bytes. This has created a great deal of confusion. Bitcoin is fundamentally different from the vast majority of other crypto projects. The most important difference is decentralization. Bitcoin has no central point of control. Most other crypto projects are created and controlled by known founders and venture capital firms. Bitcoin had no pre-mine, the launch was completely fair and open. Most other crypto projects conduct pre-sales or pre-mines. Bitcoin's development is slow and conservative. The broader crypto space is characterized by rapid experimentation. Bitcoin is money. Most crypto is speculative technology. Today, it is rapidly moving from the fringes to the mainstream. One of the most significant areas of adoption is its use as a treasury reserve asset. We are even beginning to see nation-state adoption. So what is Bitcoin's endgame? It is about re-anchoring our entire financial system to a foundation of truth. It is evolving to become the world's global neutral reserve asset, the digital base money for the 21st century. While faster, second-layer technologies like the Lightning Network will handle everyday payments, the Bitcoin base layer will be reserved for settling large, important transactions with irreversible finality. The final truth is this: Bitcoin is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It is a get-secure-slowly machine. It is about preserving the value you create across time and space. It is about owning your money outright, without counterparty risk. It is about exiting broken, debt-based systems peacefully through a voluntary, opt-in alternative. In a world of infinite copies and fleeting promises, Bitcoin is what money becomes when it is forced to tell the truth.